Good morning, everybody. How's it going? This is a live stream. My name's Brian, and this is the New American Media. I don't know if I should do the headphones, the earbuds. I'm trying to figure out how the best way to communicate with you is going to be. But we're going to go live on the YouTube, and I want to talk to you about the debate we didn't get, the conversation we didn't get. I feel like the KKK debate, if we just want to break it down to brass tacks and call it that, I feel like the debate that we would have seen in Charlottesville could have been epic. I mean, one of the most epic debates since, I don't know, I'm doing this live, so I didn't have time to come up with an interesting simile or metaphor or something hilarious to talk about there, but I feel like we had the opportunity to hear one side out. Now, hang on. Let me just clarify. I don't think the ideas of Nazis or the KKK are worth hearing out. But what's the alternative? You jail people for having opinions that you don't like, or you kill them, right? So, in absence of the use of force to silence somebody, you hear them out. Unfortunately, Antifa showed up and do what they do best, destroy things. And, of course, the president's going to get, he gets destroyed for that by saying there was violence on many sides, many sides. Yeah. I mean, are we watching the same movie? There's violence on two sides. It's like they all showed up after school at the skating rink and went out back and 10 people fought 10 people. It was like the Greasers and the Jets, or like a Michael Jackson, and they're all doing choreography and ha. I mean, that's kind of what it was. A lot of people showed up there at least ready to fight. Now, was that in self-defense, or did they show up there to disrupt and stop other people from speaking? We've seen that up at Berkeley. If people don't like your opinion, they don't let you talk. That's not America. So, we only have those options. I'm pretty sure I've heard just about all I need to ever hear from the KKK, and the Nazis. Let's see, comments here. But by the way, type your comments. I'll talk with you here. How do I see what that was? What's up, Truth Freeze? Trying to understand what alt-right is. Yeah, me too. Because what happened, history is written by the victors, you're correct. What happened was the alt-right was a term that Hillary Clinton and her campaign came up with to describe independent journalists and people that weren't part of the dinosaur legacy media. But Trump, for all of his faults, and seriously, leftists, calm down. There's plenty to legitimately hate this guy for, or to break down opinions you dislike. There's plenty of really good stuff there. You don't need to be manufacturing this stuff. I saw, I'm going to get off track, but Jimmy Fallon, LeBron James, just a whole bunch of people. Really, it's just, how ambiguous was it when the president was saying that the violence is wrong, that the hate groups are bad? It's just, I don't know. You can never say it fast enough or loud enough. There's always a problem with these people. And seriously, progressives, it messes up the rest of your arguments because people are just laughing at you. So anyway, the alt-right. The alt-right was something that was pretty much coined last year to try to talk to alternative Republicans, alternative conservatives, alternative libertarians. Not your traditional GOP. It was new. It was, the Breitbarts and the Drudge Reports, and honestly, I don't really know how and who gets to define the term alt-right these days. I don't. But anyway, back to all this stuff. The beautiful part about the alternative right, the alt-right, is that it was totally spun against them, just like it was with fake news. Fake news was out there, and we got to watch out for these fake news stories, and talking about the WikiLeaks data dump that Seth Rich may or may not have given to Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. It was turned around on him. Let's see, so many ways to divide our people. Add to that the fomenters of violence and hate and the misunderstandings of ideology and the immature feelings, folk. Yeah. Yeah, there's a good meme. It's on our Instagram. Follow our Instagram, instagram.com/thenewamericanmedia. Where's our thing? Boom. Yeah. But it says, everybody on the left just wants, all they see is Nazis. Everybody on the right, all they see are communists. And on the bottom, it's like, and me, I just see you fools getting divided in their plan. This is what they want. They want divide and conquer. The ruling elites want you to be distracted from the big stuff. Guys, we're on the same team, all right? We're on the same team. In 2017, if you care about what someone's skin pigment looks like or what's flying spaghetti monster they worship in the sky, if that person's not harming you, man, stop that crap. Let's see. History. Media's having the narrative. It's a big problem. And thank goodness for alternative news like your channel. Thanks, Truth Freeze. Yeah, we've been doing this for 6 years. And, I mean, just put it out there. The Republicans let us into the Republican National Convention in Cleveland last year. The Democrats kept us out of the Philly DNC convention. You know, there was one group last year that was trying to manipulate, screwing Bernie Sanders over, trying to label things, oh, now you're alternative right, you're alt-right, you're evil. A cartoon frog is now a racist. I saw today on ESPN where, what was it? The NFL fantasy draft is now a slave auction. I also saw that you're not supposed to share memes because it's cultural appropriation. Seriously, guys, if you're spouting these types of things, you have got to press pause to just do a Zach Morris timeout from Saved by the Bell. I got to tell you something. Something really important. Your teachers are full of it. Your professors have been lying to you in this notion that only white people can be racist. Sorry. That's just ridiculous. Oh, you have to have systemic power. No. Stop. You're being lied to. If you're a dirtbag and you dislike somebody because of their skin pigment, you're a racist. Everybody can be one, and nobody should. So I'm sorry. That's just kind of how things are going right now. But yeah, everything got turned around. That's the one thing that the president is, and it's not the so-called President LeBron James. Seriously, stop. This just came out. He's calling the president a so-called president. I know you campaigned for Hillary Clinton, but look, man, can you focus on getting your own house in order? By the way, this is coming from a lifelong Cleveland sports fan. I got you hanging on my wall, bro. There you are. There's your title. Hey, you see that? LeBron, you need to fix Kyrie. You need to fix you and Kyrie. All right. Don't be calling the president so-called president. He is a president. Oh, well, that president was challenging Barack Obama, and he was saying, are you a president? Okay. There were legitimate questions about Ted Cruz and his eligibility, Barack Obama and his eligibility, John McCain and his eligibility. You're allowed to question eligibility, and until you get all the documents in front of you, you should be able to access that as a voter, as a citizen, the whole country. That should be very, very available. Not just certificates of live birth, but actual birth certificates. There's a lot of ambiguity. There were a lot of reports and information that was released. Come on. So anyway, all that stuff aside, LeBron James, fix your relationship with Kyrie Irving, would you please? But anyway, I just wanted to tell you, if you're not following us on this place, okay, if you're not following this channel on Facebook, you should do so. Facebook.com/thenewamericanmedia. I think we do a lot of great stuff there. And I think you'll enjoy it. Because we need to be linked up on all the platforms. Twitter, we're at American_media_. There's a lot of different platforms, and there's a lot of censorship going on. A lot of censorship. And that's really what this is about. This is about Antifa, anti-fascists, acting fascist. They have determined, despite the fact that multiple courts have ruled that free speech is protected, that disliked speech is especially protected. That's what's going on, man. That's what the situation is. You're allowed to be a dirtbag. You're allowed to talk trash. Westboro Baptist for all the disgusting, vile things that they say on a fairly regular basis, we don't have the right to go punch them. You can call them Nazis, punch a Nazi. Cool, but use your words. Violence. Practice the peace that we've been talking about. Use your words. Let's see. Have we got a problem, Houston? Where do we start? Calm, rational, critical thinking is under attack. The push to make Trump berate the alt-right. Yeah, let it, but ignoring Antifa. It's ridiculous. You cannot ignore Antifa. They are going up to Berkeley and shutting things down. Look, you don't get to decide what's okay to talk about. Everything's okay to talk about. Apparently there's 1.5 trillion genders now. Every sports team is racist. Yes, I know I happen to be a Cleveland Indians fan. And when I see this, I see hometown, I see pride, I see family, I see community, I see all good things. It's a little cartoon guy. Get over it. If you're going to go nuts on a logo, get to me when we get rid of the Fighting Irish. How does Conor McGregor feel about this? I mean, come on. Seriously, enough with the crap. Yeah, only 200 genders. Surely I exaggerate. What happened to love Trump's hate? What's up, Sean? Love Trump's hate. That's a good one. Yeah, the bumper stickers are hilarious until they don't work on both sides. You know, I did see something on CNN where, and my brother, kudos to you, sir, for pointing this out. There was something recently with the, I think it was MS-13, the gangs. I don't recall exactly which gang it was, but I believe it was CNN that was doing an article, or video. And they were talking about how Donald Trump aggressively going after gangs only emboldens them and encourages them and gives them more publicity and will only make them stronger by naming them. Wait for it. But Trump didn't disavow KKK and swastikas and Nazis fast enough by name. Anyone else having having a hard time processing what's right and what's not right here? I can't keep up. I literally can't keep up with it. It's madness. The inmates are running the asylum. Some common sense, a little bit of libertarianism. Pretty much do your thing, I'll do mine, and if you're not bothering me or harming me, if you're not stealing from me or punching me in my face, we all get to live our life. Let's see. Truth Freeze is saying, I'm going to get a Confederate flag just because free speech matters. We've been lied to about Lincoln and Civil War and slavery versus states' rights. Okay, I will engage you on this because I've been thinking about this a lot lately. The phrase, excuse me, the War of Northern Aggression. It's something I hadn't heard until fairly recently. And yeah, the victors write the... Oh, I realized I was wearing this at one... whatever. Past it. Sorry, I'm used to doing radio shows. I haven't been doing the video stuff all that much. But anyway, getting back to it. Where's your comment? Okay. Yeah, look, this has got me thinking I need to dig into the Civil War a little bit better. I really think I need to dig into the Civil War a little bit better. Was it the War of Northern Aggression? Was this even over slavery? I've heard it said many times. You can break it down to say Revolutionary War, fighting for freedom. World War II, fighting against Nazis. Civil War, fighting to free the slaves. Well, I mean, nothing is going to be one sentence long. If you're going to be fair, if you're going to be accurate, if you're going to be honest about the different dimensions of the complexities of it. I was just saying this today. It's like a spoke. It's like this ceiling fan, folks. We are here. And every one of these little fan blades out here, that point, back there. These are, hang on, cessation is a huge threat. TPTB, in a real way for us to restore the public. You have to elaborate on that. But anyway, we're in the middle here, and all of these fringe viewpoints are swirling around the outside. Oh, this is great. What a great metaphor. It's almost like I planned it. I didn't. I mean, I did. We're always going to have craziness. Oh, the powers that be. Thank you. We're always going to have craziness on the extremes. And craziness sells. I mean, the loudest, angriest, weirdest people get the most play. I understand that. But come on. We don't need to take them seriously when they're being disingenuous. We don't need to engage them ad nauseum over and over on a repeated loop of nonsense. Ah, Brian, but you were saying you should have let the KKK talk. Yes, you let them talk and you tear apart any horrific idea that you hear. And then when it's done, it's done. You verbally destroyed them. What would we wear? When we wear, what kind of hats would we wear? No, I don't know if it would be like those wonderful pink hats. Why is what's up, Resurrectionist? Why is the mainstream media on the fringe? Because it sells. I think just because it sells. Watching CNN, it's pretty astonishing. And I look. I don't get into a lot of politics on my personal Facebook page, for example. I have the New American Media for that. I kind of started it for that. Mainstream media is government media. Yeah, kind of. But when you realize how long the media has been working with corporations. So here's what we're doing. You got media companies, or you start media companies, or you control media companies through corporations. So you got a company, and you want to control the message. So you work with, you fund, you put some plants, some moles on the inside, some producers, and you make sure that content is coming out that benefits you. So then, as a good company, you're going to fund politicians to get elected to office by getting good coverage from the media. So once they're in office, they're going to push for legislation that's going to either help you or push out the competitors. This is a story you can find in the Bible, just change the names. There is nothing new under the sun about this stuff. What is new is the internet. God bless it, and you better fight against anything net neutrality. You be careful while you're getting distracted over little 100-year-old statues over here. Be careful, because net neutrality is the thing, and I'll tell you why. I was with Henry Waxman at a political fundraiser at O.J. Simpson's old property. I believe they bulldozed it and built a new home over there. But he was doing a fundraiser several years ago, back when they were trying to push Obamacare, that long ago. 2009 maybe. And he said, Henry Waxman, representative from California, said, net neutrality will mark the culmination of our 100-year plan. Okay, you don't want to line yourself up with Henry Waxman, and you don't want to see what's at the end of that 100-year plan. The internet does not allow bad ideas and falsehoods to live for very long. That's why this was the perfect time. Seriously, how old are you? Oh, type your thing down there and give us a little thumbs up on the thing. Give us a little. We gotta get the hate speech is the enemy soon. Yeah, of course. But how old are you guys, by the way? I'm old enough to 59. Thank you. I'm old enough to have lived through a few administrations. I first voted for George W. Bush. We'll put it that way. Net neutrality is the thing that's changed and revolutionized every single election. It's unlike stuff that we've encountered, and I'll tell you why. The bad ideas can be challenged. They can be destroyed. They can be picked apart. The comment section rules. The comment section really is the New American Media. That's why I started the New American Media. I was sick of what I was getting. I'm doing the jobs Americans are too lazy to do. The government-run media, the fake news media has let me down and lied to me too many times, so I just started my own thing. But the comments section really changed media in general. Maybe around 2000, late 90s, early 2000s, when all the comment threads started going underneath. You look at the ones that are upvoted, the ones that make it to the top, it's because they're the ones that are pushed. Sean is 36. Thank you. About you, Truth Freeze, how are you? How old are you, brother? Yeah, Zuckerberg. Yeah. Oh, of course, the comment section is full of sock puppets, paid trolls, all that stuff. Of course. Oh, I'm sorry, 53. 53, 59, 36. So, in my lifetime, I mean, how many high-profile KKK events or Nazi events have you ever seen? I'm trying to figure out if this event in Charlottesville was actually a really big deal or if Antifa made it a big deal and the media went bonkers pushing it. I've never lived in a world where Nazis are given consideration for wonderful ideas. This is a thing that, sorry, this is me pantomiming to a fake watch here. A couple days ago was the first time. Yeah, the media can, the fake narrative of the media. It's these bad ideas and these two-sided, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. It's double standards beyond belief. And that's the stuff that isn't going to last. That's the stuff that as long as net neutrality is not passed, push it, avoid it, block it, tell all your friends don't do it. It's a poison pill. It sounds good, but it's horrible. Don't. But as long as we have free access to information, as long as we have equal access, you don't get special privileges for buying Time Warner. So, like, for example, and I have no idea what backdoor dealings, Time Warner, AT&T. Let's just pick any internet provider. Internet provider will say, well, we're going to throttle your speed. We'll give you X amount for X amount per month. But yeah, you can't do Netflix. You can't watch YouTube videos. You can't do research. You just can't. I mean, unless you want to pay. It's like a toll lane. Out here in California, the roads are so clogged, but they actually have a couple toll lanes going out of Los Angeles. Are you kidding me? We've already paid for that. Open up the lane. Free this stuff up. You got to be nuts. So that's what they're trying to do with internet, that only people with money can have access to information. So fight this thing. But what I've been seeing is that bad ideas cannot last. Bad ideas cannot stand. Bad ideas will not be tolerated. Bad ideas will not live on. The comments section will destroy somebody who's being completely disingenuous, lying. Everybody posts the rebuttal. That's incorrect. Here's the article from Pick XYZ magazine, and that was from back in June of 2012 when they said this. You're lying. Or they got something wrong. And we are the new American media. We are fact-checking each other. We are just trying to get to the information and the truth. So, like I said earlier, Westboro Baptist Church, Nazis, KKK, all these people that spit vile, disgusting filth from their mouth. I don't recall a time that there's been a high-profile debate with these people and their bad ideas. But I just want to say, after having a little bit of time reflecting upon it, I could A, jail people that say things I don't like. I could B, punch them in the face or run them over with a car. Equally stupid, horrible, should be denounced on every level. Violence, unless it's self-defense, is never okay. These people could have been debated by an awesome, brilliant black mind in Larry Elder. Could have broken down piece by piece by piece by piece what they said about this, what they said about that, what they said down here. There's plenty of hate for African Americans from the KKK and Nazis. We could have had brilliant black minds tearing horrible, vile, disgusting statements apart. I, upon reflecting on this over the past couple days, would have loved that. I was also thinking, wouldn't it be great to read Milo Yiannopoulos or watch a video about Milo Yiannopoulos talking about how the KKK and the Nazis hate gay people and how gay people should be punished and excluded from society? Oh, man, that's almost pay-per-view. That's almost Conor McGregor style. Almost. Floyd Mayweather, Money Mayweather, maybe. I would have loved to see Ben Swan. I'm sorry, not Ben Swan. I keep trying to. By the way, if you know where Ben Swan is, tell him I'm trying to contact him. I'm not getting through to him. It's been a long time. Ben Shapiro, Jew. Oh, man, I would have loved to see him tear into some horrible Nazi and KKK ideas. You win with your words. You win with your brain. You don't win with your fists. I know I used a Conor McGregor reference, and that's a boxing match, obviously. I totally get that. I would redo that if I had a script to write. Where is Ben? I don't know. Well, no, you can ask where he is. Man, Ben Swan, where's he at? I think he's in Atlanta or something. But man, he shut down all of his social media accounts. He's been really hard to find. Let's see, Truth Freeze at 11:11. Ooh, that's an interesting time. Post your comments at 11:11. Know the enemy should be our job. Yeah, we need to find the solutions. See, and that's the problem, though, when it's punching Nazis, okay? Because then you say Ben Shapiro up talking at a college is a Nazi, which is whatever, Nazi. You use your definition. You're a sexist, a bigot, a racist, a homophobe. Yes, it's 2017. Everything is oppressive. But Antifa shuts Milo down, burns buildings, breaks windows. It's just organized chaos. I mean, as a society, we got to figure out if we're going to accept this or not. Everything is awesome or everything is racist. Seriously, it's got to stop. We're neighbors. Like I said before, if you got a problem with somebody because of their skin pigment or because of the flying spaghetti monster that they choose to worship, you got problems and you need to check that crap. Put that in a nice little box, put it in your backyard, put it up on the shelf in your garage. You don't have to totally get rid of it. I don't know what's going on in your head where that's going to make you rage, if that's the case. But that doesn't fly. And to everybody who's not white, your professors are lying to you if they're saying only white people can be racist. There's no reverse racism. I wrote this in college 15, 20 years ago. There's only ugly, hate-filled racism. Implying that there's reverse racism is a lie, saying that only white people... See, and here's where we got to break this down, where we got to break this thing apart, and we got to do it quick. There are legitimate complaints that white people have been targeted for far too long, being attacked for far too long. Oh, you're not acknowledging your white privilege. No, that's where things get really dicey. And you got to be careful, left, progressives, Democrats, whoever you are. You got to be really careful about painting with a broad brush with all these racial identity politics. This is a dangerous game. This is a dumb game. And it's garbage, too. We're all neighbors. It's not about what I can get from you and what you can get from me. It's about us doing this together and just being cool to each other. If that's not a value you share, I'm sorry. At some point, what's that famous phrase? You're either with us or you're against us. I mean, if you're just out there trying to start a civil war, if you're trying to start they want us to have a civil war. Don't give it to them. That's a line my brother and I talked about yesterday. He said it. He's been saying it for a long time, and I'm going to repeat it, and I hope you type it and repeat it in comments section. They. You can always put that in quotations. I mean the elites, but just put it in quotations and let people froth at the mouth and have a conniption fit over it. They want us to have a civil war. Don't give it to them. I know. I'm being too sensible. Thanks, Truth Freeze. And it's not NAM. It's TNAM. It's the New American Media. Better check yourself. I'm just clowning with you. Thanks for watching. Disagreeing with an ideology does not make someone a Nazi. In the left, the far left, the crazy left, the loony left, the progressive left, the cultural Marxist left, the identity politicians left. Yeah, it is. It does make everybody a Nazi, and everything's Nazi. Everything's either Russia, 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 or Nazi, 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 Nazi. It's a mental disease. It really... Part of me thinks it's hilarious because it's so stupid. Wrapping back to my point with the corporations and how long they've controlled the media, I was having this conversation. It's like they don't know that we have access to the same stuff they do. They've been lying to us for so long, they don't know that they can't get away with it. And they keep trying. And they're so desperate. So part of me laughs at it. I laugh at it. I love it. I will cheer Trump occasionally when he puts the media in their place, when they're acting a fool. Finally. You did not have any of that last... Okay, any, always, those phrases should not be used, I understand. But Barack Obama had a love affair with the media. The media had a love affair with Barack Obama. Thrills up the legs there were. Got a little bit clamped thinking about it. Ay, ay, ay. But yeah. Yes, it's a deal with the devil. Yeah, the isms. Communism has killed 200 million and counting. But there's a statue of Lenin in Seattle. Just thinking about that. Here's the other... Okay, over to busting those things up. Statues. And I was going to do it... Maybe I will do a separate segment on this, but I guess I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going live and talking to you guys. Oh, where did I sent myself a text. It's a lot like Forrest Gump. He was named after General Nathaniel Bedford Forrest, the founder of the KKK. He was named after him to... Do I have to get this quote exact? Mama says I was named after him to... How did that quote go? Hang on. Yeah, see, I would have had this prepared if I had a Forrest Gump. There we go. Named after. Okay. It's on vacation. Because, yeah, sometimes we all do things that just don't make no sense. There we go. General Nathan Bedford Forrest is an ancestor of Forrest Gump, who was named after him, a Civil War general and first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. According to the Forrest Gump film, Ms. Gump named Forrest after this KKK wizard to remind him that, quote, sometimes we all do things that just don't make no sense. End quote. Prohibition. Prohibition. We passed in the Bill of Rights prohibition, limiting what a person can put into their body. It was so bad, and created the Kennedy family, by the way. It was so bad, there was another constitutional amendment to the Bill of Rights, getting rid of prohibition. Now, when that happened, the original bill, the original amendment to the Constitution, to the Bill of Rights, the original prohibition, it didn't get erased. You didn't just topple down a statue and try to erase history. It stays there as a reminder of a screw-up. Is this insensitive? To me, that's my baseball team. It's my baseball team. That's it. I don't know of churches going to these statues and worshiping at their altar. But it is part of history. There are people whose families, several generations of it, participated in that war. It means different things to different people. And no, I'll say, I would never want an English, a British, a redcoat statue. The hell out of here, we'd beat you. The one line I do like is that the Republican or the alt-right snowflakes, how did it go? The alt-right snowflakes are whining over their participation trophies being toppled down. It's kind of funny. Once again, taking the vernacular of one group and turning it around, twisting it. Maybe the left is learning. They're like an artificial intelligence device. They're learning. Because there's that statement, why can't the left meme? Why can't they meme? I don't know. Because they usually don't understand the issues well enough to discuss them. And they don't have any sense of humor anymore. Okay. Shouldn't use absolutes. Don't say always. Don't say any. Don't say ever. Fine. You're hearing the dialogue in my head. I hope it's quasi-entertaining. But we leave those stuff up, certain things up sometimes as reminders. Would I ever name my child after a Ku Klux Klan Grand Wizard? No. I'm good. No, I wouldn't do that. But if we don't immediately get rid of the Cleveland Indians and the Washington Redskins and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and Confederate statues, look, man, ISIS is running around the Middle East doing the same thing, smashing statues, smashing paintings, trying to destroy history, trying to rewrite history. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with this. There's some dumb stuff some side effects, some dumb repercussions for some of the short-sighted activities. That's all the rage right now. It's in fashion. There's this quote. I just had to scroll through it. By the way, make sure you're following us on Facebook, facebook.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. If you're watching, click the like button. I don't know. Do you get likes? You get thumbs? You get little balloons? You get stars? You get thumbs up? What do you get stuff here? I don't know. I haven't used it enough. Anyway, there's a quote from George Orwell in front of me. Actually, it's purported to be a quote. I don't have the book in front of me to cross-reference, but there's a meme, and it's a great message either way. It's a picture of, I believe, a Confederate statue being lifted off of a pedestal and being brought down. Quote, every record has been destroyed or falsified, every book rewritten, every picture has been repainted, every statue and street building has been renamed, every date has been altered, and the process is continuing, day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right. So, Godspeed if you're taking off tooth freeze. We just gotta be careful. There's slippery slopes to this stuff, you know? There's very slippery slopes here. You think it's real fun to determine, be the judge, jury, and executioner of who gets free speech. Well, that's a game that can blow up in your face. And we've posted several videos of people over the past weekend calling for a communist revolution of the United States. Is that something you're interested in? Because I'm not. Was it all a setup from the government officials that they got the permit, then the permit was revoked, and then the police were told to stand down, and then the police forced all the people from whatever the Unite the Right event from the top of the hill, according to Ford Fisher. By the way, I interviewed Ford Fisher yesterday. It's a really good conversation from one of the best up-and-coming independent journalists out there, Ford Fisher, from News to Share. It's on the YouTube channel. I guess it's on this if you're watching it here. But check it out. He got maced by the alt-right, and he got maced by Antifa. So, you know, he got it from both sides. Yeah, I mean, is there blame? But he was saying they were forced by the crowd control, by the police presence, the security presence, to force them out from around the top of the hill where this monument was, down through the violent left protesters. And of course that led to fights, and they didn't jump in at all. They wanted them to fight. You know, so, I mean, is this something like Bridgegate, where Chris Christie is going to close down a bridge to back up traffic because his political enemy from the town over is giving him grief over something? So I'll show him. Well, face it, that's just as dumb as BLM blocking the freeways so police and fire crews and EMS crews can't get through. You know, that's just not okay. So is it something petty, like LeBron James saying the so-called president? I mean, come on. Come on. So, anyway, I wanted to see what they had to say. Because the alternative of violence is not okay. I've been listening to a lot of stuff over the past several years that I don't agree with. Barack Obama, BLM, gave me plenty to have discussions about. How am I saying that? There were plenty of straw man arguments and lies over the past 8 years that led to many good conversations. If the alternative is violence, I'll take talking every day. The pen is mightier than the sword. That's what I believe. That's what I go for. And like I said, to have Larry Elder, Ben Shapiro, and Milo Yiannopoulos breaking down point by point some Nazi scum propaganda, we missed that because of Antifa. Antifa wanted that. Antifa wants a communist takeover of this country. Antifa wants a civil war. Antifa thinks they're judge, jury, and execution over who's allowed to talk, and I don't think that that's the way that this country should allow itself to be operated. I don't think that should be permitted. So when the president's out there calling them out, rightfully so, and the media wants to say that he didn't name them by name, that he's not talking loud enough, he's sending a dog whistle saying it's okay. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. Cleveland Indians, Cleveland Cavaliers. I do a show, by the way. I don't know if you... But there's a group called the Unhappy Hour. So it's Cleveland sports-centric, but it's a lot of stuff. We cover the news. We cover sports. So we do that show as well. Private Facebook group if you want to join. But there's a comedian, Mike Polk Jr., and he's yelling at Cleveland Browns Stadium. He's like, "You are a factory of sadness." What does he say? "It is statistically more unlikely that you could be this consistently bad than it would be for you to occasionally, accidentally be good. The probability is staggering." So it's really funny, and it's true because we've been horrible since 1999 after Art Modell stole our team and won championships in Baltimore. But anyway, there's one line in there that I was referencing here, and he says, "Hey, did you watch that San Diego or whatever team it was? Did you watch that San Diego Charger game earlier today? It's like they're playing a different sport than you are." And that's kind of how I feel. It's like I'm yelling at the TV, just like this guy, Mike Polk Jr., hilarious comedian. His letter to the student loan officer is great. You should look him up on YouTube. That's not sports related. It's just hilarious. And he did a whole series. What was the name of that series that he did? Anyway, check him out. Mike Polk Jr. He's so funny. But when I'm watching this stuff, I'm watching the press conferences from Trump. I'm watching what's going on. I'm seeing Jimmy Fallon with this whole serious moment and how disgusting it was that Donald Trump what? That he didn't call him up by name. Huh? He denounced everything despicable that happened there. They didn't like that he said many sides. Yeah, because there were many violent sides. You don't get to punch people you don't like. Not without repercussions. And if you want to play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. That's not the country I'm looking forward to. That's not what I want. I know we can do better than that. They want a civil war. Don't give it to them. We got to be a little bit better than this. We just have to. But it's like I'm watching a different movie. Mike Polk is yelling at Cleveland Browns Stadium. What's he call it? A waste of... A majestic waste of space on our valuable shoreline, or something like that. But I'm yelling at the TV going, "It's like you're watching a different movie than me. What are you talking about? I can't..." Yeah, social media is the only way to find positive Trump info, resurrectionist. Yeah, you're right. Which is why he's rocking Twitter. And there's a lawsuit to sue Trump because he blocked someone on Twitter. Unreal. Yeah, so President Obama did the same thing with radical Islamic terrorists. Trump called him out, and he's doing the same. Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. And that's a fair point, Sean. Fair? Let me address it. President Obama did do the same thing with radical Islamic terrorists. He did. He would never say it. Is that because he grew up in Indonesia? Is that because his father is a Muslim? Is that because he sympathizes with them and will take their sides when push comes to shove? Stuff he's written about in his books? Maybe. He had years and years and years and years and years of free passes, get out of jail free cards. No media repercussion or freak out at that point. None. They loved it because he wasn't pushing hate. Hate? There's a significant portion of people that practice Islam that think it's okay to do this and instill fear and terror into people. That's a problem. That's radical, and they're taking it right from what their interpretation of the Quran and the holy writings are. That's a problem. You need to call it out by name. Never did. Never did. I'm sorry, shouldn't use absolutes. Didn't he actually start to say something right at the end? I'd have to look that up and double check that. And that's the one thing. I'm just trying to get it right. If I'm off base, let me know. Put a comment down here. I don't care. I'm not pushing anything. I'm not selling anything. This is a labor of love at this point still, getting ready to launch. So thanks for being here with me on it. But I'm just trying to get it right. Barack Obama had years to call, well, I can't say call a spade because then there's a racial component there, because spades are so stupid. 2017 has got to end. Are we done yet? Are we done with silly season? Are we done with everything being racist, sexist, homophobic, and nonsensical? Please. All right. To address your question once again, we're that Sean, yeah. Obama had years, and he refused to do it almost all of the time, if ever. Trump had 2 days, and what he said was pretty unequivocal. There was no gray area. He just said there was violence from many sides. Many sides. How he repeats himself, it's so funny. You start to learn people's mannerisms. But there were, from multiple sides, from many sides. If that's what's got you in an uproar and a tizzy, I'm sorry. So yeah, Sean, you're right to say Obama was called out by Trump for not saying radical Islamic terrorism. And Trump got called out, and he said it a day and a half later to follow up on what he's been saying. I just published a montage from Mark Dice. It's all of the times that Trump unequivocally, for the 30th time, denounced the KKK and all hate groups and David Duke. They just keep asking over and over and over, hoping to catch him slipping. It's just, yeah. Soros must be in here somewhere. Truth freeze. I did talk with Ford Fisher though, and he said, look, he didn't feel like the people that attended this thing were paid protesters. It's something he was aware of, and he took a look at. This is from my interview with Ford Fisher from News to Share yesterday. Watch it, share it with your friends, please. But he said the people that were there, they were angry. Antifa was angry, and the Unite the Right event people were angry. They were all ready to fight. Were they all there ready to exercise self-defense, or were they all ready to fight? Maybe I could have pressed forward on that question a little bit more and got a little bit better understanding, but it happened. It is what it is. And I asked him if it was kind of like a mosh pit. You know, like most of the people don't want to participate, but if you want to slam your body into each other, all right, you go fight over there. You know, I was at Woodstock with Korn, Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine, Metallica. Go on and on down the line. There were some heavy, aggressive rock and roll bands, nu metal bands in 1999 when I went to Woodstock. And if you haven't seen a 600,000 person mosh pit before, I suggest you take a look. Pretty intense. But I had been coming out of an operation, a knee surgery, and I didn't want to be a part of the mosh pit. I normally like mosh pits. Like I would be front row at Korn or Rob Zombie, and you know, just kind of letting it loose. You know, I was playing football at the time, a lot of energy, a lot of, you know, used to banging around into people, not taking cheap shots, not trying to hurt people, just enjoying the music and just banging around, having a good time. I don't think people were having a good time at this event, but there were clusters of people that wanted to get into it, and then the people that didn't want to. So like I just kind of saw it that way. So yeah, Sean, you're very right. Trump called Obama out for not saying radical Islamic terrorism. I gotcha. It means rock on. It's hook 'em horns. It could be like Texas Longhorns. It's not a devil sign. It's just rock and roll. I don't know. Whatever. Where's my... Yeah. Anyway, fine, fair. But the point is, Trump came back a day and a half and said it again. Now he's talking today about what's going to be next. Are you going to come after George Washington's monument? You're going to come after Thomas Jefferson? Yeah. Yeah, the Thomas Jefferson movement has been going on for years. Groups want it. He owned slaves, so everything he did is invalid. Okay. Oh, but Trump's off the rails. He's talking about what they're talking about. Oh, Gene Simmons tried to copyright the devil horns. That's pretty cool. That guy's a marketing genius. I met him. My buddy, excuse me, what was it? The LA Kiss, the Indoor Arena League. I helped my buddy. He was working with the organization down in Anaheim. And I helped him put some of the events together and got to meet Gene. Interesting feller. Let's see. So I'm going to read some of these comments. Soros must be in here somewhere. Yeah. But like I said, the people that were there were pretty passionate about it. They might be in there somewhere, but there were a lot of passionate people getting into it. Maybe there were on the peripheral. That's kind of what I was getting at with the mosh pit here, but maybe there were people on the periphery that didn't want to get into the melee, but they wanted to show support or numbers. We are fighting over ideas, values, and morals. Yeah, we are. We are. And I'm fairly libertarian. I think if you're not punching me in the face or stealing from my pocket, I'm having a hard time coming up with reasons why we're going to have problems. I just think we have better stuff to be doing. The line in the sand gets crossed. Where's our line? Ooh, I did a video on that and I never posted it. Maybe it scared me. Maybe I didn't want to go there. But I really felt years ago, maybe during the housing crash, I felt like the line in the sand had been drawn and we were pushed up to the edge of it, and the force was continuing to push us. So some people see a line in the sand as something in front of you, and maybe I was thinking of it behind us, and we've been pushed, and it's like when there's nowhere left to go, you've cornered you've caged an animal, or you've painted somebody into a corner. Anyway, this didn't have the false flag feel to it. The false flag feel to it. I probably am hardwired to investigate false flags every chance that I get. I kind of go there first and kind of see if it adds up. Hey, speaking of false flags and maybe parlaying that into conspiracies and other stuff, I've been working on a television show for a little bit now. We have a few different ideas. I'm talking to a production company about putting something out on a major network. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, it could go several different ways stylistically, but one of the pieces, it's a conspiracy-themed television show, and I went out to the Santa Monica Pier, and we were doing a thing about conspiracies. Which conspiracy do you believe in? Which conspiracy do you think is garbage? And you can type down here, which is the dumbest conspiracy theory? And what's the conspiracy theory you probably believe in the most? I mean, it could be anything. I don't want to throw names out. Just put down what you think. All right, I'll put one thing out because it's kind of like the crux of the story I'm saying. Flat Earth. Look, am I going to go punch a flat earther because I don't like what they're saying? Or are we going to be curious and engage them in a conversation? Is it engaging someone in a crazy conversation? Well, I'm calling out LeBron James to work things out with Kyrie Irving on the Cleveland Cavaliers, but Kyrie's a flat earther. He believes in the flat earth. According to a podcast he did with Richard Jefferson, so there's that. I guess the flat earth theory isn't going to harm us. It's not an ideology that's killed millions in the past, but, I mean, didn't a lot of the science minds, the great scientific thinkers about astrology, astronomy, all that stuff, weren't they locked in dungeons or castles or killed or excommunicated because it didn't line up with the church's version of how they wanted to teach reality? So, no, it didn't gas people in Auschwitz. But if we're talking about the Catholic Church suppressing information they don't like, maybe it's in there somewhere. But the point is, I talked to the people. When we were having our conversation, I was interviewing somebody else and her couple of friends, and I mentioned, what's the craziest conspiracy theory? Something like flat earth, something that's so out there, you just can't believe anybody believes in it. I finish up my interview with her 5-10 minutes later, and some other person comes up to me and goes, "Hey, come here. My friend over there, he heard you talking about the flat earth, and he's a total believer. He wants to explain it to you." I'm like, oh my God. Are you serious? I mean, like, I uttered the word, and it was instant magnet. Now I got this on my plate. So I just started asking questions, and I'm not buying it. I'm not believing it. But man, wouldn't it be something to think about that what we think is reality is actually not? What if this is all a hologram? What if this is all a dream? What if this is all a simulation? What if this is all the afterlife? And that the real life is after? I don't know. I love the metaphysical conversations too, but I would rather engage somebody and listen to what the flat earth theory is, even if it's ridiculous, even if it's violent, suggestive, vile, putrid, hate-filled. Our only other option is violence. You use violence to stop people from saying stuff we don't want, or we listen. So I'm going to choose to listen. Let me just scroll through your comments, see if I missed anything I want to comment on here. Dun, dun, dun. Sophia Small Storm does an excellent video, Media, Reality, and Dimensions, as pertains to Sandy Hook, and then there's the crisis actors. Yeah, I saw stuff with crisis actors, but it was for Charlotte, not for Charlottesville. I'm willing to look into that if there's more to it. Internet fueled the Arab Spring political uprising. Therefore, the government fears free speech and access to information. Yeah, they do, Resurrectionist. I had Stuart Rhodes on my program, founder of Oath Keepers, a couple years ago. He was on several months ago, but he was also on a couple years ago. Anyway, one of the previous conversations that I had with Stuart, I think I turned into the title of the interview I did with him, and just said the internet is our greatest weapon. The internet is our greatest weapon. Yeah, you don't use your fists, you don't use your guns, you don't use knives, you don't use bats. You use your words, you use your ideas. That's how you take people down, with information. So, yeah, of course they fear it. Let me just tell you, if the internet goes down, if the grid goes down for an extended period of time, and they've been talking North Korea up quite a bit lately, guys and girls, and other 700 genders. If there's a nuclear explosion in our atmosphere that knocks out our power grid, let's just say I hope you have a plan. That's a little too deep, but I'm just warning you. If you haven't thought this one through, if that grid goes down, you better take your family, you better go to your plan. You better have a plan in place, you better figure out a plan. Just a basic rough draft plan. Practice getting everything you need to throw into the car in the car this weekend. Just for practice, just the important stuff. Try it. Make sure you got a plan. If something happens, you're not going to have a lot of time to get out. If you're stuck, cringeworthy stuff. So yes, of course, resurrectionists, they fear free speech and access to information. We the birds. No one wants to debate. Everybody stays in their own echo chambers anymore. I like to debate. I think that's why you're here, Sean. But I actually don't like to debate. I just want to talk about stuff. And, we can reach a point where things start getting heated, getting riled up, getting a little aggressive. We're starting to get angry and we're not talking right anymore. I'm fine saying, let's agree to disagree and move along. Just next, because we're going to agree on a lot more than we disagree on. We don't always have to keep going down those roads. So that's why I named the show Agree to Disagree. We're not having enough conversations. So that is certainly what I'm trying to go for here. Know the enemy should be our job to find the solutions. Yeah. Disagreeing with ideology, making someone a Nazi, being too sensible, NAM. Nope, it's TNAM, the New American Media, of course. Truth will set us free, and watch that we will not be deceived. Yeah, cockroaches hate sunlight. That's what I keep saying about the internet. That's what I keep saying about being online. Lousy ideas and false narratives don't stand up. They just don't. They don't last. Communism has killed 200 million and counting. What was that? We are Flintstones kids. 10 million strong and growing. Do-do-do-do-do. Was it Flintstone? 10 million? 1 million? I forget it. The devil, the ism, statues are graven images, yet the toppling of selective ones is fomenting of divide. Yes, the graven images, that was another thing mentioned in one of our comment threads. On social media, the New American Media, Facebook.com/the New American Media. Like the page and start commenting. Set to receive notifications. We post a lot. If you're okay with us posting a lot, you can set it for notifications. I'm not going to pretend we don't. We post a lot. So it might clog up your newsfeed. But if you comment a few times, it'll show up more regularly. KKK used the stars and stripes. All right. Immediately after Prohibition, women won the vote. Yes, suffrage. Interesting how that works. Maybe that was the trade-off, right? Hey, guys, we're going to give you your booze back, but, you know, that stuff we've been holding from you for a few years, but you're going to let us vote now. Okay. Can we get out of jail now for drinking some booze? Or totally unrelated, whatever. All these actions, events broadcast on mainstream media is the game. The modus operandi of divide. What was TP? Where was that? Always need division for upper hand strength. One cure is talking in person to neighbors and friends and family. Yes, truth freeze. That is one of the cures, to talk to people. But you also got to be careful because some people aren't ready for it. Speaking sensibilities, yes, thank you. Civil War history. True, it's so needed. Yeah, I gotta dig in on that a little bit. WTF, said my son. What, just now? I've actually used that quote earlier about the monuments here in Mississippi. Sorry, Sean, I forget which quote we're talking about, but I'm going so far backwards. The mainstream media backlash was about dividing and conquering. Yes, the whole world lies. We need to be in the world, not of the world. Yep. Line in our sand, of course. Yeah, the false flag, I saw some stuff, but look, the interview with Ford Fisher, and I'm just keep telling you, I tried to hold it together over the weekend and not really get into it too much because I knew I was going to be talking to Ford Fisher. He's out in D.C., he traveled to it, he wore the body armor, he saw some horrific stuff. I knew I was going to have a chance to talk to him, so you know, I want you to go check out that video if possible. But you know, he walked past that car before it sped into the crowd and killed somebody and injured 20. You know, and that's the thing, you hear it killed a person and it's horrible, but you go, okay, well, it's one person. Horrible, but only one person. There's 20 people with massive damage done to them. So, you know, just it's something to keep in mind. But yeah, he walked past that car 7 minutes before it took off. He just gave the FBI the information, the video footage, so they can try to recreate it. Because my main question was, when I first saw that car, when I saw the crash, the edited last couple of seconds, I said, well, was that car under attack? This is the same thing we've seen Black Lives Matter doing on the freeways, protesting, rioting. It's not a protest. If it's not violent, if it's not peaceful, if it's harming somebody else, it's not a protest. It's a riot. It's a mob. It's garbage. I just don't like it. There's several ways to get your point across. You don't need to be blocking the roads to do it. But in response to cars being swarmed and windows being bashed and hoods dented and things thrown at them, projectiles shot at them, all that stuff, I've seen more and more conversations about communities making it legal to drive through people that are on a freeway. You know, if their life is in danger and they've been trapped by people, well, you're in a car and you're allowed you have the right of way there, not a pedestrian. So I don't know. I don't know if some of that played in, but that was my main question with the car. I wanted to find out, was he surrounded and getting the windows bashed in and he just gunned it to get out of there? And I saw then another edited video that started where a baseball bat was getting bashed onto the bumper, but that was after it had already taken off and started its path. But those are the questions we got to ask. You're not going to know how to break these cases down the first time you do it. The first time you dig in, the first couple of hours of research, the first couple of days. In fact, like John Correa from Active Self-Protection, if you're not following him, you should. ASP, cover your ass. Check out his YouTube channel, subscribe. He's been a guest on the show. But he subscribes to what he calls the 72-hour rule. Don't talk about it. Don't get into it for 72 hours. Just, you're going to make a fool out of yourself. Don't get worked up because you're going to get a lot of false information in those immediate windows. So, you know, I think conspiracy, I think, okay, well, we're being told it's one thing. Could it be something else? And no, I'm not totally convinced that I have all the information on it yet. It doesn't look like it's defensible in any way. And I'm not done gathering information about the car situation. But anyway, Ford was right back there 7 minutes before. And yeah, the false flag feel, it didn't have it necessarily like some of the others. Horse and buggy makers created a conspiracy without going over 25 miles an hour would kill people. Oh, okay. Did I know that one? Is that like, what is that, William Randolph Hearst, who they put out Reefer Madness and a whole bunch of propaganda about marijuana and getting people riled up, and because he didn't want the hemp farms to take over his paper mills because he owned all these forests for his newspapers. Yeah, there's misinformation and disinformation everywhere. I didn't hear about the 25-mile-per-hour horse and buggy fake news, but I got to look that one up now. That's pretty good. Okay, when the first cars came out. Yeah, the MO is a push to violence, yes. Internet is a free flow of ideas of regular folk, yes. And trolls. There will be trolls. Trolls walk amongst us. That's just a part of it. NASA's trafficking children to Mars as slaves. Oh, okay, now we're into the conspiracies. Gotcha, okay. I have interviewed Laura Eisenhower. Laura explains that she is the great-granddaughter of President Eisenhower, who once warned us of the military-industrial complex taking over. And she, among many of the people that I have spoken with, believe that there is a vast government conspiracy regarding secret space programs. Dark missions, like Mike Barrow will say. Yeah, the truth is out there. I have that poster over there from X-Files. But she talked about secret space programs and missions to Mars and teleportation and all of these things, and it's interesting. You know, if you got to break down and debate the KKK or some Nazis, or if you got to break down and debate some flat earthers, or if you got to break down and debate some secret space program conversations, I would say you're doing it right. You're having the appropriate amount of fun. We only get to live this life once this time around. That's all we get. We get one shot at it this time around. I do like the phrase, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience, but rather we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And I really like that one. I really like that one to kind of sum things up a little bit. Okay, Truth Freeze, have a plan and maps. Yes. Have a plan, have maps, have those maps laminated, have them in triple, quadruple Ziploc baggies so they don't smear and run, have some sort of power generating device that you can fold out maybe and use a solar panel so you can charge devices if it's not a total grid down scenario. And even if it is, you can download a whole bunch of useful books, survival guides, maps, and more. As long as your device works and can be powered on, it can still be an enormous resource. Yeah, I'm big on prepping. Actually, thanks for reminding me. I got a prepping video. Maybe I'll edit that tonight. Maybe I'll put that out there and just release it. I think it's bag 2.0. I did. What's up, guys? Reconnecting the audio feed. You were talking about craziest conspiracies we heard. Yes, I was. But anyway, thanks for reminding me. I got Bug Out Bag 1.0. I did do a video on that. I got to do one for 2.0. I filmed it. I just got to chop it together, edit the thing. So I will do that. Google is already choking the exchange of information. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Yeah, the stream's been going offline nonstop. Our video, I did that show about Charlottesville yesterday. Posted on YouTube. Instantly flagged as not monetizable. YouTube is digging its own grave. And I'm here on the platform telling them to their face, you're digging your own grave. If YouTube is not a place where you can have interesting conversations, what do you think people are coming here for? You'll find out. Push us away. Demonetize us. Don't like what we stand for. That's cool. But yeah, my show's getting interrupted. My content getting ghosted. Being unmonetized. Put on the dark web. Gone into restricted mode. The algorithm not allowing our feed to show up in other people's feeds. Tweets that disappear off into the ether on subject matter that should have got a lot of attention just disappears. You know, Edward Snowden and the Vault 7 leaks and a whole bunch more have let us know everything is under surveillance. Everything is under surveillance. Everything is manipulatable. It just is. That being said, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about how my stuff in particular is being censored. My stuff is not being seen by the appropriate amount of eyeballs, that my stuff is being targeted. But it is, and it has been. And I can only attribute that to an idea that I'm onto something and that I could be very successful at this and bring a lot of people with me. It's my personal belief. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it because then just you become that paranoid guy or that salty guy. It's like, well, if your videos are so good, just get more views. Okay. Or the content is getting messed with on every platform. But we're seeing it. We're seeing people. Lauren Southern got banned from Instagram today. She said, and I can't confirm it, but she said, all I post on Instagram is hedgehog pictures and architecture. I don't know if that's true or not, but she got kicked off Patreon. I interviewed, I took a picture with, I said hi to Milo Yiannopoulos the day he got kicked off of Twitter. People are getting banned on Facebook all the time. My videos, Steven Crowder's videos, Paul Joseph Watson's videos, go down the list. They're all getting demonetized by YouTube. It's on. You're like, it's on. Am I going to go punch people? Or am I going to find a way to defeat what's happening? I'm going to figure something out. That's what the new American media is going to do. We're going to figure it out. But yeah, anyway. They are choking the exchange of information, resurrectionists. That's what I was commenting on. One wants the backroads way of escape. Yeah. The intercontinental freeway system was designed for military use, which means there are choke points, which means that's not what you want to be taking if you're going to try to travel if the shit hits the fan, you know? Opinion of online censorship, it's horrible. You know, and I keep thinking because we're gonna create a platform that's going to rival, replace YouTube. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say it because I'm putting the business plan together to get the funding. Probably going to set that all in motion this week. When I start running a site that also allows users to upload their original content, and when I allow those people to monetize their content that they created and take a cut of it, you know, there's going to be content that I'm not going to want to associate with. So it's easy for me now. It's like that episode of South Park where everybody hates the Walmart because they're so big and they're running everybody out of business. So they say, we're just going to boycott Walmart. We're going to go to ABC shop over here. And so they all stop going to Walmart and they all shop there. And that shop's getting so busy that it expands. And then it builds a building. And then it builds a warehouse. Then it builds a mega warehouse. And then it becomes the Walmart that they were fighting in the first place. You know, so I guess what I'm going to be putting together is going to be, do I dare say, a safe space? But I want to create, I'll just say because it's funny, I want to create a safe space for libertarians, for actual conservatives, for constitutionalists, for good people trying to do good. So if there are people in there that infiltrate or come in and they start acting a fool, I mean, we're going to have to ban people too. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the stuff we're saying that's getting us banned on social media and ghosted on social media. I don't think it's bad. I think it's very acceptable political commentary. And YouTube is doing this to themselves. I didn't set out to do this, but you forced my hand. You did this to yourself. I don't know what else to tell you. You know, time will tell. Let's put the plan in place. Let's get the funding. Let's launch, and then let's initiate the plan of action that we have mapped out, and then see it work. Because what I'm thinking about is pretty incredible, but if you can't join them, beat them, right? Heard brake failure may be in place. We might have had a Thank you. Thank you. Who wrote that? Truth freeze. Cheers. I want to make the cheers noise. There. Some sort of clank. Sound effects. Here we go. Cheers, mate. Oh, that was good. I'll do it again. Cheers. That's a good idea. Yeah, brake failure. So I interviewed John McAfee, former libertarian presidential candidate, head of MGT Capital currently. Bitcoin's over 4,000, by the way. Did you get some? I did. Not enough. But it's up a lot. But anyway, I interviewed John McAfee from McAfee Antivirus, former libertarian presidential candidate, and head of MGT Capital, and the whole Belize situation that he was involved in as well. You may know him from there. Very eccentric character, and very knowledgeable on matters regarding internet security, computer technology, all of that stuff. We did an interview. What do we call it? It was back in April, and I think it was the CIA. The title of it is called "The CIA Just Got Nuked." I think that was the name of it. And we talked about the Vault 7 WikiLeaks data dump. And so that's a very good point you bring up about the car and brake failure, and did it have different license plates? And the windows are tinted. And I don't understand. One of the biggest questions I had was, how did that car get into that alley? Why did it get there? Why did it choose to go forward before just backing up? I mean, was it just an attack? You just had to kill? Or was it something else? So the jury's still out. Something's off with this car story. I don't know what it is, and I'm not claiming to have the answers. It's a government conspiracy. I don't know. But I've talked at great lengths about Michael Hastings, the journalist for Rolling Stone, that really upset. He was embedded with the troops overseas and really upset them by releasing some sensitive information that made him look bad. And he got really paranoid, asking to drive his neighbor's car and saying he felt like his had been tampered with. Well, the Vault 7 data leak, it pretty much completely set square and made it obvious, made it known that vehicles can absolutely be hacked, unlike Russia in the election, who never changed a single vote. By the way, if the Russians changed a vote, yeah, I think I'd have a problem with that. I know that I would, 100%, even if it helped the guy that was against the woman I was against. Anyway, that didn't happen. But Michael Hastings is something that I've covered for a long time. His car ended up going about 115 miles an hour out here in Los Angeles, not too far from our headquarters. And witnesses say that they saw an explosion and heard an explosion prior to impact with a palm tree at 115 miles an hour up on the median. And the engine of this vehicle, what'd it go, 80 yards or 2 football fields? I know that's a big difference, but a long distance in the exact opposite direction on impact, as if there were a bomb attached to it. So it was made to look like the guy was out of control and went and rammed his car and exploded into a tree. I mean, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about Seth Rich. Talking about the guy that was perhaps outed by Julian Assange as the leaker that gave us the Podesta Hillary Clinton data dump prior to the election. What happened to Seth Rich? There was a mugging, but nothing was taken. It was a botched robbery attempt. Killed. There's no limit to what these people who have developed a bloodlust for power and control, there's no limit to what they'll do. Not a single thing. Don't think for a second that some of these people wouldn't kill you in a heartbeat. Everybody you know wouldn't nuke a country just to keep playing the game. You know. Yeah, Hastings is just one of hundreds in a Deadpool list. Ugh. My areas had too many in a short time near Buffalo. What made his car explode twice? Yeah, well, and then the body was quickly cremated, kind of like Andrew Breitbart. Remember when Breitbart came out and said, I have information that will sink the re-election campaign or the election of Barack Obama, whatever that was. And then he quickly, mysteriously died. And they quickly determined it was natural causes. And then there were cremations of Michael Hastings. And the Andrew Breitbart's coroner died of arsenic poisoning like the week later or something. Look these stories up. So I mean, this is what we're talking about, people. This is a very coordinated plan, and we're just trying to get to the bottom of it. You know, this is serious shit. You know, I wish that we had a media that was already doing this, and to a certain extent we do. But when Ben Swann gets ghosted the way that he did after providing perhaps the most fair and even-handed coverage of the Pizzagate story, it was fair. It was very fair. It laid out what we knew and what we didn't. Because it was something a lot of people were talking about. I've interviewed Ben many times. And if you're not familiar with Ben Swann, you need to link up with him. He's a great reporter, great media presence. He took all of his accounts offline. He took all of his social media offline. He ghosted himself. And this is a guy that like launched the Truth in Media campaign. He was on like season 2 of it, doing all these videos. And if you want to see the origins of ISIS, man, you better watch his video on the origins of ISIS. You want to see what we're doing to fund that? You know, so, yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of people. Look at Edward Snowden. He saw something, he said something, and look at him now. Got to go to freaking Russia to try to get some freedom. That's a little backwards. Julian Assange has been in an Ecuadorian embassy for how long now? The people that are used to having this power are really upset that we're making it this tough on them. Good. This is what we're in now. And if I don't talk about Ben Swann after seeing what happened, why would I believe anybody would talk about me? We kind of all have to talk about each other and to protect each other. What's up, everybody? I was saying, this is the point of the program where I like to say, hello, NSA. Thank you for watching this live broadcast. I'm very aware that you're there. I just want to let you know and remind you that when this goes down, and you'll know what I'm talking about when it happens, when things get really bad, and you're going to be asked to do a lot of stuff that you're not okay with, and you see some things that you're not okay with, you're on the inside. You can help the good guys. The role that you can play, people monitoring and messing with this feed right now, the role that you guys can play from the inside, when it all falls apart, you're going to be the true superstars. Provided you have a backbone or a spine. Because no matter how long you're temporarily being protected by that job, you're next. You got to defend freedom and liberty for everybody at every chance. At first they came for the YouTube guy. Blah, 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 blah. And then they came for the NSA worker. But then there was nobody left to speak up for him or her. So yeah, anyway, not surprising. The video feed was shut off again. And I lost all your comments. So I guess I will probably wrap this up here. Sorry, I know that got a little heavy, and of course that means that the feed is going to get disrupted. I'm so used to it at this point. My kingdom for unfettered access to the world. Because it is being disrupted. That much is for sure. All right, so I'll give you another second. If you had any other comments, if you want to say anything, type it right below. On Twitter, we're at American_media_. That's the name of the sports show that we do. The Unhappy Hour. This is the name of the network, the New American Media. TNAM, because the news always matters. YouTube.com/The New American Media. Oh, for the people watching, listening, you could support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/The New American Media. Do a monthly pledge or something. That would be awesome as we take this to another level. Subscribe, youtube.com/The New American Media. Instagram.com/The New American Media. We're on Periscope and Snapchat too, but we don't do almost anything with it. So maybe one of these days we will. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for watching. My name is Brian. This is TNAM. And I hope you got something out of it today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you again. Thanks for leaving your comments. Talk to you again soon.